And welcome back to the two-time Emmy Award-winning Forbes Sports Money as we begin our State of Sports discussion brought to you by SAP. We welcome back our good friend Sal Galatioto. He's got a lot to talk about, trust us. We're going to start with that big Dodgers deal. We've talked a lot about this, Michael. $7 billion with Time Warner Cable. However, Dodgers aren't going to get quite as much. Tell us about
Bob,
that.
the big news is now the deal is looking like the Dodgers are going to have to contribute $700 million more over the 25 years of the deal to baseball's revenue sharing. Baseball, as you know, takes 34% of a team's local revenue and puts it towards the other low-revenue teams in the league. And this, I think, is a big deal for the Dodgers because initially they were saying, year one, we started at $84 million. That's basically aligned with revenue sharing. And then we're going to increase that 4% a year. Well, now baseball's coming back and saying, well, other parts, you know, the channel, branding rights and so forth, that's going to start at $130 million. So the team's finances are definitely going to feel this.
I'm wondering how Sal feels about this. Michael and I, we're taking $700 million from you over on out. How are you feeling?
Well, I mean, not too happy. I mean, obviously, their whole investment thesis was based on getting this money in. It's not there. If you look at the purchase price of the team, $2.15 billion, and now a lot of documents have come out showing that it's actually significantly more than that, maybe as high as $2.6 billion because of all of the ancillary agreements they've made with Frank McCourt. So it's definitely going to have a negative impact on their return on investment.
Yeah, so on top of the $400 million they're putting towards this parking lot joint venture, basically, then they got to pay Frank like a management fee that starts at $5 million a year. And, I mean, how financially sound is this deal now as you sit here and look at it?
It's a very tough deal right now. I mean, look, assuming that everything we know now is true, and, you know, we don't have all the documents yet. If you look at it, they're paying him a guaranteed $7 million a year in parking revenues, another $5 million a year to manage the fund, and he gets 50% of the profits on the fund as well, which is significantly higher than any hedge fund they've ever heard of. So it's a really great deal for Frank. Not so much for Guggenheim, it doesn't look like.
All right, so when you look at this deal and you say that there's all these ancillary things with the parking and that sort of thing, does this deal ever, is it going to make sense even with this huge TV payment?
You know, it depends on what your view is of what regional sports networks are going to be worth in the future. None of us really know, but certainly with these changes in the deal and withholding that $700 million, it makes this deal much tougher.
And I'm just thinking, do they want to keep a $200+ million payroll? They've brought in a lot of players. They had, you know, they're paying a ton of money to some of these guys.
Their position now is that they're willing to spend what it takes to win. And, you know, they're talking about maybe a $200 million contract for Kershaw. They've even mentioned, you know, $200 million for other players. Who that other player is, you can draw your own conclusions.
Nothing of Robbie Cano, right?
You can say that.
I actually look at this right now, and I look at the huge amount of other people's money that Guggenheim used to buy this, the debt, the insurance company money, the hedge fund money, and how leveraged it is. And I say, you know what? I don't really think they're any better off today, as we sit here, as they were when Frank McCourt was basically forced to sell the team by Major League Baseball.
You may be right, and there are going to be a lot of questions asked here by Major League Baseball and by the New York State Insurance Commissioner as well, I would think. So stay tuned. This one's not over.
In the end, the sales prices, we knew it back then was $2.15 billion. We were all surprised by that. Now it looks like it could be more if you factor in all these other things. Are we surprised on another level again?
I'm very surprised. I mean, knowing what I know about the bidding, they significantly outbid everybody else, and that's without all these ancillary things. When you add those, I mean, you know, some people are saying the purchase price was as high as $2.6 billion, which is amazing.
Yeah, so it's like almost, what, $1 billion more than the next highest bidder?
Yeah. And we're talking about a team with an old building that needs a lot of CapEx, and a team that's got a high payroll.